Well, Leticia went live a few minutes ago, and I've been up a couple hours. I couldn't sleep. So I thought, well, for some reason she thinks that everyone cares here early in the morning. And
From me,
that's
my
kind
mental
of
state.
that's kind of humorous all in itself. So we're like 13 minutes behind real time, and like I said, I really wasn't ready for this. I was just waking up. So I'm currently looking for a prop to set this phone upon. And like I said, I am hardly. Oh, my normal prop is sitting in front of my face, and I couldn't see it because I'm not completely
So
awake.
technically, within the U.S. government and everything that has happened, with what has
Technically.
happened, particularly in my case, in my story, is that the U.S. government has violated me numerous times. They forced me to have medications in psychiatric facilities.
Hi, Ronnie.
They forced me into running around with a warrant
I
during
thought
my
I'd give
entire
everyone a
pregnancy,
chat where they
which
could listen
was
to
illegal
Leticia.
to have processed. All of those things, the 3 weeks that they took to investigate the rape, was not enough time. So I already knew that everything was illegal. I don't know who to talk
Hello,
to in
gotcha,
order to get
man.
this squelched. Taken away what's going on. I know that it could be the Illuminati. It could be those people at the very top that are stealing my child. That's what I told everyone from the beginning that I was freaking out because I.
Oh no. Biden had, she said the people at the top. I'm not being political, but when she says people at the top, I have to imagine Biden's got little Jason just, baby.
Knew that what was going on was illegal.
Hello,
The
Jennifer.
processings were illegal. Everything that had happened, illegal. So I thought at one point, oh, they're gonna know that I know, right? They're gonna stop, right? They're gonna let loose or let up at some point, right? They're going to let me have my child, let me have my life, offer me the money that they owe from
Thank
the
you.
corruption that has happened, all the abuse that I've sustained throughout my life. They're finally going to pay me, right? They're probably going to help me pay me. They're going to take care of my kid because they know better. They know better than to continue with the process of trying to harass innocent victims. They should know better, right? So I filed the report against the man. He did rape me. He did clearly rape me in the middle of the night. And I will not back down. I will make sure that he is punished by the law. Because what is going on with me being punished through the law for speaking up,
Hello,
that's a
May.
violation of my constitutional rights as a human being, a disabled citizen here in the United States of America. So all of the corruption that has happened to me, the fact that they state that an officer is now tending to my newborn.
The amazing part is she's an hour earlier than I am. So this is 7:38 in the morning. I mean, I got 4 hours sleep. You know, I've probably been up for about an hour, but I feel like I've only been up 5 minutes. And the last thing that I think, I'm thinking of right now is like bitch about my problems. First thing is kind of like wake up, get some caffeine in you. Not Leticia. It's 7 in the morning. It's time to go off on the internet.
Born child. All of that is illegal. All
Hello,
of the
Ladon.
processings, everything that has happened, the way that they remove my child, the way that everything has happened inaccurately, you need to understand. The U.S. government doesn't just owe me. It owes the extension of my family. Everyone that has gone through trauma, through having to deal with this shit.
Oh my God. Now her entire family is owed reparations. Now, this is a clue that she is back in with her family. Because think about how she was about her family before. Now she wants money for her and her family.
You don't understand. The corruption is extreme, and at this point, I'm going to have to sue. I'm going to have to find some way of suing because that's the only way I can do this or survive from the U.S. government is to sue the U.S. government for all the taintedness and the lies and everything that they tried to explain to me. Listen to your doctors. They help you.
Okay. I have never been involved in a court case that was not fixed in my favor. I am no one really important. So, me knowing that already, that every case I've ever been involved in has been fixed in my favor ahead of time, and me not being anyone, could you imagine what someone with power could have? Can you imagine if Leticia was an actual threat to the government? I mean, they'd freaking nuke Arkansas.
Take care for you, and all they did was fuck up my brain even more with the pharmaceuticals, and then I acted out, and there's viable proof of all these things happening. So all of this, all of the filings, everything was illegal. They were supposed to have helped me procure shelter. There are plenty of people that were willing to help me. And then after I would get into these facilities, all of a sudden I was kicked out for undisclosed reasons, which is illegal, because you're supposed
Well, because you can't play well with others.
to in these systems help regardless of the person, regardless of their mental stability. So what had happened was illegal. They discriminated against me due to my mental health, and not only that, they discriminated against me due to my mental health and criminal record in conjunction, which made it look like I was a violent person, which made it look like whomever they were dealing with deserved to get the fullest extent of the law.
Her criminal record made her look like a violent person. No, it made you look like a person that offends.
The most severe punishment. I don't deserve any of that. I don't deserve any severe punishment anymore whatsoever.
She has 390 in chat. Because when I started this, I'm like, who does Leticia really expect she's going to reach, considering, the kind of the 6 to 11 on a weekdays, kind of like the time when no one is on YouTube?
I deserve peace and love and kindness and all the money in the world and my children back.
All the money, not just some of it, all of it.
I don't deserve these fucking men raping me in the middle of the night. For you not to process it, for you to make it look good for the viewers, right? To make it look good so that we can prove to everyone outside of the U.S. government, within the U.S. government, all the citizens, everybody, that you've been violently abusing a disabled person. Just what? For what reason? Was it just that funny to make me cry? Was it that funny to get your jollies by watching me go mentally insane because
she's doing this again?
Huh?
I'm gonna speed her up by a quarter.
So, what is it about you? What is it about me? What is it about all of these
Hello,
proceedings
Kentucky.
Let's spot them. Let's spot the fact.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning, Arkansas time, and Leticia's here to bitch at us.
That I wasn't able to file against my rapist, the fact that it was turned around on me, and that I've had to run around looking for shelter, and I was kicked out of those shelters for a warrant that never should have been issued. A warrant for my arrest that was illegally issued. Do you understand? They were finding me for stupid reasons. They were finding me. They were trying all this shit. All these people that are trying to combat what I've said. Oh, there's no proof. There's every proof. There's every single documented proof that I've been abused by the U.S. government during my entire pregnancy, during my entire 35 years, during all of it. So what I'm trying to explain to you is that I'm done.
Now I have the most relevant commentary. If she took half of this morning energy and put it into a job, she'd have more money than Bill Gates if she made minimum wage.
I'm done, absolutely done, that you can't manage to process anything correctly. You are violating innocent U.S. citizens based upon their records. You are discriminating against them against filing. Do you understand that? That's illegal. What has happened in my instances, the way that they didn't process the rape reports, the way that they didn't process the rape reports years ago against the officer, which I'm going to have to actually file. I should probably call this morning and file. And they're going to probably want me in there to file against them. And I'm going to make sure that they...
Okay. Now, this, her last... it's been 10 freaking months. Let's put it that way. I was going to try to put it a nice flowery way, but I mean, the baby's already here. And she's going to go down there to file on something she already has a criminal charge out for filing for.
Understand? You're not going to touch me. You're not going to put me in jail. The moment I try to start filing against people, they try to snatch me
Hello,
up for
Heather.
To put me in jail. I realized that years ago when I was in and out of the psychiatric facilities because there was something wrong. because they knew that they had filed wrong in my divorce. They knew that they had filed wrong prior to that when they assaulted me, the family members assaulted me, and I wasn't able to process that in court because I was the one that was, after being violated, placed in court, in jail. The same concept with what is going on right now physically. Like, they're literally abusing me as the victim. So to see how truthful I am, and they better give me my things back. I've been telling you, today. Is it today? Is it today? I'm not pleased. Not at all. I'm not pleased. I'm not satiated. I'm not having fun.
You know, I'd like my stolen blade back, but you are not going to hear me dwell about it on YouTube. Just saying.
Who would have fun at this stage? I am literally. You have driven me mad. You've driven me crazy.
Hello,
You've driven me out
Shannon.
of towns. You've driven me out of.
I got my typical 4-hour sleep. I tried to lay back down and go back to sleep, and I couldn't. And then I came in here and tried to get some caffeine and wake up, and Leticia came on, and I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and broadcast her with what I've got, and we'll see who shows up, because this is really too early to stream.
That were making up a bunch of nonsense about me. It will never come to court like that. Whatever you've been doing to defile my character and to try to slander my name, none of that will ever happen. You understand that? Does that make sense to you? You need to drop these.
I woke up with a clear head today, and that's usually a good sign. So that's kind of all I can say about it.
Charges. You need to give me my child back peacefully and willingly, because all of that was illegal. We all know
Hello,
that
Genji. Hello, honeybee.
Every proceeding illegally done, illegally processed, because I wasn't stable enough to even be held in court, in the whole court of law, because of my disabilities, because of my mental stress, because of the trauma. My PTSD has gotten to a heightened state to where I have to literally watch over my shoulder to make sure that there are no officers. I've been afraid.
Well, you know what this is showing me? You just hear, I mean, she's practically frothing. She has worked herself up into a rage all night.
Of officers my entire life, and I didn't do anything wrong. My family was in the spotlight for doing nefarious things, and I had to sit there and watch my back because I already knew that those eyes were everywhere. Everyone. And the fact that my privacy has been invaded and violated, and everyone else in the United States has been violated. Our privacy is not our privacy. They watch inside of our homes. They have monitors everywhere. And I tried to explain that to people, that if they have that, then they understand I'm innocent. Then why do they keep hurting you?
They have a satellite view of my house. They do fly over in helicopters, and they do take infrared and spot your house down here. Now, they say they don't, but they do, because they're making sure you're not growing pot in your house.
Sadistic.
That's the extent the government surveillance.
Because they don't want to show that they're crazy. So what are they going to do? Kill me. They're going to try anything and everything to kill me off, to lock me up for no good or reason, to steal my child. The only person you're hurting is the child. The only person that you're truly hurting is that child. And that child's going to end up with psychological issues, is going to end up with mental distortions, also emotional issues, because you didn't allow that child to stay with its mother. So that child's going to grow up learning a bunch of stuff, learning that he was hated, learning that, he's going to end up knowing the U.S. government failed him, and that they were literally assaulting us while he was inside of me, and that I was locked up during the different times of his being inside of me. Rich people can get away with suing the government for this stuff. I don't have the money, per se, to fight all of this in court, and that's how they do it. They sit there and they make sure they beat down people, civilians that have no money, until the point where it's like, legally we know. Oh, I know. We all know. But can I finance an attorney to step up in front of the courts to tell them, hey, you did all this wrong. The processing with this, you scared her into a state of having to relinquish her child.
I wonder if she can catch flies with that mouth that opens and closes so quick.
Not stable enough to relinquish that child. She was not stable enough, but she was able to care for it. Yes, if she would have had proper housing, if she would have had the suitable housing, they would have known. But they were like, well, you didn't, blah, blah, blah. That's on you. The U.S. government was supposed to find me housing. The system was supposed to find me housing as a pregnant woman that was homeless and disabled, that I couldn't manage. I needed help. I needed somebody to help me and hold my hand during it because of the severe amount of trauma from being raped. From being raped and not knowing where the fuck I was supposed to run to, not knowing who to go to because I have no family and I have no friends. So the PTSD, all of it clearly makes sense. Any psychologist would tell you, you've berated this woman, you've attacked this woman, you've assaulted this woman numerous times.
Okay, Leticia, I have PTSD from birth. I have about the most severe PTSD a human being can have. And it's morning, and I'm not all wound up. This is your other conditions. This is your crazy.
You've mentally, you've mentally abused this woman. Not even just mentally, but you physically assaulted her, and you put her in jail for accusations. That's illegal. The U.S. government's going to have to own up to a lot of things now. A lot of things, because the corruption within the systems, and the fact that a disabled person, a disabled woman that was scared, running for her life, looking for some place for her child, didn't do anything wrong. Smoking medicinal marijuana is not illegal during your pregnancy. There are tons of people. They tried to make it out to be that it was one thing or another, that it was neglect overall. They couldn't pinpoint one thing. They made up a bunch of accusations. Every single person that is trying to berate me and to say that I'm lying is actually lying on here. Every single person is a government operative sent to combat my story. Every single one of them that's...
Okay. Well, I do get a government stipend, but so does Leticia. So if I work for the government, doesn't this also mean that Leticia too is a government agent?
Laughing at this, that is trying to say that all my story is, doesn't make any sense. All of that
Oh, yes,
is due to people that are trying to persuade others that I'm insane, because they're persuading them into thinking something that doesn't exist. That the government is a
as you can see,
entity,
mine are dirty.
that the government is there to help you. That is a lie. That is a blatant lie. They are not here to help you. If you raise your voice about something, they will find some other way in order to remove...
Okay, we have to stop here because Leticia has said something that is truth. The government is not here to help you. Okay, she has gotten one thing right. So, let's put that on the wall. Let's put a little star on it. Let's pinch your cheek for being right for once and move on with our lives.
Something else from you. If you speak your mind about something, they will do anything in their power to persuade you into believing that your words are what got you in trouble. No, our freedom of speech. We have freedom of speech. You don't understand that. So they've been twisting around our words on us and using...
Okay, Linda. Now, Linda's known me for a long time, but she's just not up on the Leticia lore. Leticia is a paranoid schizophrenic. She went to the asylum because she tried to set her baby's crib on fire, burn down the house, and kill herself. And the court took her baby. Yes, they did. And they said, banish the foul witch. Now, Leticia has a policy. And this policy is, I'll die before I get a job. She has said it hundreds of times. Now, she has admitted to freezing puppies. Yes, she's a known dog thief. She's a known dog abuser. She's allegedly killed over 11 dogs. Although I can account for an entire litter of 8 puppies. Now, Leticia also is going around preying upon men and then falsely accusing them of rape. And this has led her to have charges for falsely accusing men for rape that she hooks up on a site and then tries to extort money out of them. And when they don't, then she tries to use the police as her pimp. And this has landed her in the car. Now, Leticia at times was given information to get herself housing while she was pregnant, and she ripped it up because someone else was supposed to do it for her. And when faced with the fact of getting a place to live, what Leticia did is say, I want my house back. I want my baby. I want my dogs. And if it's not that, it's not good enough. So yes, Leticia has brought everything onto herself. As a quick Leticia in review. It's doing the spinny thing.
Speak your mind about something, they will do anything in their power to persuade you into believing that your words are what got you in trouble.
Well, you know how it is, Linda. You can always know that I'm going to be able to give you the basic facts, but I understand where, you just, it's like coming in on a movie and you don't know what happened up to that point.
Our freedom of speech. We have freedom of speech. You don't understand.
Anytime, Linda.
So they've been twisting around our words on us and using them against us. Oh, if since the father said I've bound and determined to have that baby in prison, that's why they contained me while I gave birth, so that it could be part of the child's story, because the father created that outcome for the child. You think that I'm stupid? You don't see that I see the poetic justice out of everything that you've done. I see it. Oh, believe me, I've been seeing it for years. All the Illuminati and all the the illegal doings that they've been doing. Everything. So when I spoke out against these people and I tried to explain to everyone, I just want my stuff. All I want is my stuff. I want to be left alone. I want a shit ton of money so I can prepare for children. What did you do? You destroyed it. You didn't give me my...
Look, I want a shit ton of money. Then real quick she says, to prepare for children. So she's already admitting to having a breeding fetish. And where everyone said, I'm done with her, and I'm the one that said that this doesn't end, and she's just going to keep preying upon men to try to get her golden calf. And I also said all of a sudden, the baby that she threatened to murder 228 times in one 3 hour, it's okay, honey. Hold on, I got a kitty. I got, oh shit. Hate when devices don't want to.
If I have an attorney, they'll be able to clarify to the judge. But unless you have an attorney, the judge doesn't want to hear things out of your mouth. No matter how intelligent I am, no matter how viable the facts are, no matter any of that shit, they're gonna want to hear from an attorney, somebody that paid into the system. They don't deal with these lower classmen that didn't offer enough into their system. If I don't have a title, if I'm not in the military, if I'm not, then that's discrimination. We are all equal. We should all get the same equal treatment and respect in the court of law, knowing that I didn't violate shit. I didn't falsify any report. I will go up to the judge and I will fight that and say not guilty. At first I thought, no, I should just say guilty because that's what they want. They want me to say guilty, and that's what happened during my mental status when I was locked up for 2 months.
Well, we got about 15 more minutes.
They didn't allow me to have a public defender. They allowed me to sign that away for some reason. And when I sign when I'm forced to be around everyone, I sign things without even reading them. I sign things without, and that's a disability, which means that you can't catch me on that. All the signatures that happened during the time of my child, the divorce, this signing over of the custody, that's not viable. My brain wasn't here. My mental stability, not so good, because nobody was listening and nobody corrected it immediately. So here I am, sort of just wandering in the in-between, wondering, when are they going to fix it? When are they going to fix it? They know they did it wrong, right? They know they did wrong, right? They're hurting it.
People get busy, Sky Purple, and I don't know all of my subscribers because of it, but, busy people are welcome, because I've had to explain to my fellow creators that 9/10 of lurkers, or 75% to 9/10 of lurkers, are completely innocent people that are just busy.
Disabled person, right? They know that, right? That
creators tend to get paranoid sometimes.
I would have take care of the baby. The baby would have just been fine. I would have just watched the baby all the time and made sure he was good. Made sure he was not being violated. Made sure that when he was breastfed, that I stopped smoking marijuana. I would have done all of that had I had a proper place. Everyone knew that. Everyone knows my words. Yet the longer I ramble on, the more you take excerpts of things and you share people the dishonest parts of what I say. Anything that when I'm having aggression, anytime I talk down to the baby, talk down to myself, those are lies from the devil. And I help share them because I hear them. I hear people whispering them. I hear people telling others about them. Because apparently it's just fun to fuck with disabled people. Apparently it's fun to steal and rob from the innocent. And offer it to these people that are rich already. So that's interesting. That doesn't seem right. Also, anybody who has touched my child, anyone who has physically touched my child, is going to end up with so many problems. Anyone who has physically touched my child at this point, anyone who has coddled him, anyone who is feeding him bottles, they will all end up suffering immensely. They will end up suffering worse fate than even like themselves having to be fed from a bottle. Do you understand that? Like, you are going to be so damaged and broken.
So, she's threatening people that are feeding her baby. That's extra crazy.
Once this is all done, the karma for having even touched him. Do you understand? And me not allowing you to touch him.
This is one of Summer's daughters, Autumn. And you always know Autumn because she looks a lot like Summer but has a tail. But she's the squirmy kitty. Most of my kitties will just sit around when I love them. But she squirms everywhere when you love her.
Not accepting
Thank you,
you
honey. You
as the
squirmy
mother,
kitty.
as the owner, apparently, because they want us to purchase our children back. Once they remove the child, they want us to purchase the child back with whatever blood, sweat, and tears we have to offer. They were trying to tell me I had to find my own housing. No, you were supposed to find my housing. As a disabled citizen, you failed. So that means the child was failed, and now he's in the system, and that's a failure on the U.S. government because of the corruption. Because they had 9 months to prepare for this.
Oh no!
And so what? You want me
The
to share
U.S.
the entire
government
stories, share what happens to
failed.
people, share why people are on the street?
Yes. The U.S. government failed in 9 months to prepare for something. I can cite things like the New Orleans levees that they had like decades to plan for and were told ahead of time. But yes, because one homeless, disabled person, now the funny thing is, just have to laugh at this. Russia has been stealing every child they can in Ukraine and sending them to Russia. So, in the last months, Russia has stolen tens of thousands of babies. Literally, they have. Now, Leticia thinks because of Leticia's story that the entire world should bow down to this. And like I say, most of you probably don't know that Russia has been stealing tens of thousands of kids and sending them to Russia. Because, it's in the hard to find news.
To people, share why people are on the streets, why people are homeless. This is why. Because their money didn't give
Hello,
their family didn't give enough money into the system for the system to care about each person. So the system doesn't care. And the Illuminati runs everything. And so it doesn't matter. These people are cruel and heartless to the point where they will murder children in front of their fucking mothers. They will murder the mothers in front of the children and watch the children just die of starvation.
Obviously they got away with that, Leticia.
That's how sick they are. That's how they knew the mental anguish that was going to go on between the child and I. And they just wanted their testing. They just wanted their tests. They wanted their proof of whatever in their day and age and see what type of mental issues I have and what the child was given. So I'm done. Are you done with the testing? Can I have my child back so I can raise him properly and so that we'll try to avoid those psychological issues he's going to have? Or is he going to end up a psychopath and end up murdering half the fucking nation? And then some.
If you don't kill me now.
We all know how this is going to go. And the corruption and these weird fables that you like to tell people, these stories and the plot lines. Why the fuck was I running around scared shitless and had to offer it to the dragon? None of this makes any fucking sense. Not at all. You guys are sick. There's something wrong with you. Please give me my child back. And I'm not saying please, like, oh my God, I'm begging you. You need to give him back because it was illegal what you fucking did. So correct what you've done wrong and repent, or you're going to end up fucked. Like any of you. Anybody who has been watching my child, your eyes are going to be plucked out by fucking vultures before you were even ready. Before you were even ready to pass on, you are going to be so fucked. You are going to be so goddamn fucked for touching him, for looking at him, for...
Is Leticia gonna get designer vultures? Because the only thing that vultures pluck out the eyes is usually dead things. Usually. Now, predator bird like a vulture will attack a newborn. Like a newborn calf, and they do it by attacking the eyes.
For trying to be his mother. In exchange for, you have a healthy mother in front of you.
Although she claims she didn't.
150 pounds naturally, that had self-discipline and determination, and was able to live out 9 months with that child without any disruptions until the authorities arrested me. And then I immediately I had a lot of mental issues at that time. I snapped. Why are you hurting me? Why weren't you going after the dad? Why weren't you putting him in jail? Why are you endangering me and my child, my mental health, and every fragility that I was processing, the creation of that child and the mental health issues he's going to have later due to the amount of stress and the cortisol I released during pregnancy is proof enough that I didn't do anything wrong. It is complete and utter viable truth that I was innocent during the entire ordeal, and I have continued to stick with my persistent innocence because I am innocent. I've been innocent my entire fucking life, and I was swayed into doing things.
When she's, saying that, I'm remembering the old movie from 1983, the animated one, Heavy Metal. I remember Hanover Fist sitting on the stand and with the green marker. He never did anything wrong or never did anything illegal, except for the time she froze an entire litter of puppies.
And I chose not to do some things, but you can't take signatures in a court of law from someone that already has PTSD, someone that is in and out of reality, in and out detached because of the fucking trauma. You can't sit there and say, we're going to have a conversation. I'm not all there. And people don't get that. I can function. I can function in the world around me, but I'm not there. I'm not sitting there having a conversation with you. It's robotic. It's whatever it is. And
yes,
then all
Karen,
of a sudden it's like, where are your memories, Leticia? I don't know.
For a context moment, we did win. It's just, unfortunately, as long as she has eggs, she can pull up to the batter's box again.
They got fried out of my brain from all the pharmaceuticals and all the random shots in the psych ward.
Yes,
yeah,
man.
All I know is my child was stolen.
Yes, yeah, man. It does. She does belong in a mental hospital, and she started ranting before 7:30 a.m. her time.
All I know is they ripped him away from my boob, that they weren't supposed to do. It was illegal. They said that I neglected the baby, which was absolutely no way I could have neglected the baby because I love the baby more than anything. I loved him. So, because I kept him alive. Even regardless, knowing that the father was never going to step up to what the fuck he had done. Knowing. And that's why I went ahead with the charges of rape, because I knew the father was never going to step up. I knew what was going to happen. That the father was going to denounce what had happened, that he was going to deny it until the bitter end, causing me to have more pain, causing his son to have more psychological pain, and suffering all of this stuff and instabilities. So, please, stop making the mother suffer when it wasn't even her choice to have the child. It wasn't my choice to fornicate. It wasn't my choice to fornicate that day. If I wouldn't have been penetrated, I would have never accepted him that secondary time out of my own, self-deprecation, that I wanted to harm myself because someone else had already harmed me. And these things happen all the time. And you know I'm in the right. Can we be done with this? Can we be fucking done with this? Every other day it's something different with you. Every other day you sway my emotions into believing and perceiving something that is not. You people are sick and deranged and you'll get your fucking karma.
Thank you, Genji.
May God smite you all for fucking with someone that was innocent. May God smite you for stealing my child. Anyone who has glanced upon him, anyone who has fucking touched him, you will fucking be fucking ripped apart. God does not like you. God does not like what you did. God doesn't like how you stole. God doesn't like how you didn't make amends and didn't repent. God doesn't like that. And we all know the words of God because we follow the words of God, all of us, without even knowing it. So, yeah. I don't want to cry about this shit. Ain't nobody want to cry about this shit. I want to get even. That's what I want. I want to get even. I don't want any, and I don't even need the kid back. It's not even about that. Keep the fucking kid. You'll see your own fucking issues later on when I told you. It's going to come to fruition. It's going to come to,
Keep the kid. Now, remember this. Later when she says, I want my baby back, baby back, baby back, baby back. Keep the kid. No, Leticia, you told us to keep the demon child. It's our demon child. You can't have it back.
To a screeching halt when you have to bail that child out of fucking jail for all the shit he's going to end up doing, all the toxic behaviors, everything because he wasn't around his titty-feeding mama. So yeah, so he didn't gobble up that titty. He's going to be all kinds of mentally ill. And we all know that because once they started coming out with formula and they started having women that just pop the bottle into the baby's mouth and shove it in a corner, that's what happens. There is no attachment between, the feeding as well as the nurturing during that moment. Instead, they get the bottle. They see those things. They start realizing, okay, well, that's actually the food. They don't see you as the mother. You understand that, right? And it's a psychological thing. It's the more
I'm
that this
still
child is
waking
away
up
from
to you.
me, we all know the psychological damages, and it's irreparable damage. You can't repair it. You are not going to be able to repair the damage that you've done to my son. You're not going to be able to repair the damage you've done to me. And they think that by forcing me into confronting these things and being more scared that it's...
Well, she's been staying in her car. Now her stuff is in her mother's house, but she slept in her car because the back of it is set up as a bed. And this is how it was yesterday. So she's camping in her mother's driveway. Now, her mother probably has the door locked, is my guess. And she's probably not allowed in until mother opens the house. But that's my guess.
Going to fix it. It's not going to fix it. All it's doing is it's damaging my brain. So at first I thought, they're going to let up. They're going to see that this isn't right. This is cruel and unusual punishment. This doesn't make any sense. This is illegal. And so I thought they would see that. I thought they would let up. They haven't let up. There's so much corruption in the U.S. government, and just from my perspective and what has happened in my personal story.
Well, she's in her mother's driveway. You know, she has access to facilities. It all depends on how much access mother's giving her to the house. Now, because her car is not packed with things, I know her things are in her mother's. And I know she's in her mother's driveway. But I do know she is sleeping in the vehicle. So that basically frames your understanding and my understanding together. So I can only allude that mother is letting her in, and she kept a short live because we're towards the end of this, because she was probably just waiting until mom let her in. And of course to bitch at us. And of course she was getting a little more anxious because it's like, you know, none of us here. Do you really feel like bitching at the world right now? We're all starting our day.
And so I thought they would see that. I thought they would let up. They haven't let up. There's so much corruption in the U.S. government.
Yes, Kay, she would have.
Perspective and what has happened in my personal story.
But she would have had to have did something to get it.
The criminal record does not reflect the person in front of you. Those were illegally filed. Those were illegally processed. The fact that they did not see
we'll talk about more and play something else after she's off.
Yeah, let me tell you. And I'm having a good day. I'm trying to have a good day. I'm hopeful that my baby's coming soon. I feel him. I feel him. I feel him very close. I feel him very close. And that is, it's worrying to me. Because I'm like, why would you even give me back my baby then?
Well, there's been multiple reasons why I know that she's not. Because she talked about bringing in cat litter for her mother. Adonis must have missed that. You know, in her bitching, she bitched for doing 2 chores for her mother. And that was my first clue she was back. Now, in her shrooms thing, she did admit she was in her mother's driveway.
What's the catch? What's the catch? What's the catch? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And that's just like the process of them sending me a photo of him. That was illegal. They didn't.
Hello,
Nicolina. Any of the foster parents, if they would have.
I only could get 4 hours sleep, so later I'm going to be kind of rough, but my head's clear today. I'm waking up, and Leticia got up on the wrong side of the car, obviously, and I had some energy on some devices, so I thought, well, we'll let people come in here so they can chat about Leticia and not get banned somewhere.
Had the child, they wouldn't have given out information, private information of the child. They did that so that they could hang him on a hook in front of me so that I would jump through their hoops. I'm not.
Well, she is homeless only because she's made herself homeless and keeps herself homeless.
Jump through your hoops. I'm not going to jump through them. Leticia puts her foot down because God is within her, and God says.
Well, the thing is, she does have schizophrenia. Now, but she also fakes stuff. So the thing with Leticia is finding out what her condition is versus what she fakes. Now, she has distinct ego states like I do, and she has 3. Now, you have the manipulator. That's the one that's always cold and talking to you just like this. Then you have the brat. The brat eats. The brat acts like a child. The brat dances. Now, her core ego state is the one that's sexual. You know, the one that'll come out and say the most fucking creepy thing ever. You know, for an assaulted woman to say. That's her 3rd ego state. Now, the brat and the manipulator are basically her protectors. They're the ones that cover for her. Now, I have a damaged core ego state too, but I have 5 other ego states that are hyper functional that give me my abilities to do what you see.
Having me pay for it. They're having me pay to their system to even see the child again. No. See, that doesn't work that way. Not in Leticia's mind and not in anywhere else in the universe. No, that doesn't work that way. No money is needed to get my children back. All I need to do is demand of God, and God will bring them back. And so, I'm not going to play your stupid money games.
Well, that just added a lot of commentary.
You're going to confuse everyone into believing something that's not true. Oh, this woman, she neglected. How? In an 8-hour time. How did I neglect the child? I literally just gave birth, and I took a nap for a few moments with him, right next to my titty. Are you trying to tell me that was neglect? Me resting after giving birth? Are you going to try to tell them that it was neglectful, that I didn't find housing? Oh, but I did seek housing, and I had proper places. And then what happened? Everything. My stolen clothes, the way that they were kicking me out of different facilities. The devil, doing the devil's work. And that's what these corrupt individuals in the government do. They do the devil's work. They're not doing God's work. If they were doing God's work, then they wouldn't take any money in exchange. They would do things out of the kindness of their heart. And they would see, also, too, at that time, oh, this woman didn't do anything wrong. That's why a lot of people cry. I make a lot of people cry because they know the truth about me. They know I didn't do anything. I just look crazy, so it would have been the perfect story for them to make me look even crazier. But in actuality, now that I'm doing my stories again, my sharing my real life story, they're not going to be able to do shit. They're not going to be able to lie to anyone or manipulate them into believing I neglected that child, to manipulate the situation to believe that I'm not disabled, to manipulate the situation to believe that I was hurtful toward any of the people that have hurt me. I deserve a lot of compensation, and I don't want to delve into that heightened world anymore. Please, stop. I don't want the shots anymore. I don't want any injections. I don't want the vibrations. I just want my money. I want my babies, and I want to cut and run. That's how it goes. That's exactly how it goes. Today's September 21st, 2022. Leticia Collins Servant. Bye-bye.
Thank you. So, yes, she wants her money back. Now, we'll play something else from Leticia since we're just here anyway. But, yes, now, you notice how she went quick. I was wondered how she would exit. Kind of like, I love you, bye. I think that's because Mother opened the house. I don't think she's allowed back in the house until Mother gets up. So I think it's basically kind of like put in the dog and take out the cat. And Leticia, of course, is the cat. And I guess at bedtime, Leticia has to go out to the car. Oh, I have to laugh at it in its own way. Now she changed her icon to the cross. I don't know why it's not crooked. I'm trying to see something that looks like it's the most teachable moment. She's pretty manic in that one. Okay, amend this. A tale about... Okay, no, I did that one on another live. Excuse me. It's just her eyes looked extra crazy in that one. Now, we're going to play a part of this because this is an hour and a half live. This would be her last one from yesterday. Words are words, curses are curses. And I only listened to about 25 minutes of this one.
So, you raped me. You robbed from me. What more do you need?
Yes, she did.
Aside from just jailing me for
that's
my
something
innocence.
that we're going to be wanting to drink every time we say. Because for new people coming into the Leticia verse, that's going to be a constant. She's going to keep chanting, I didn't, and we're all going to say, yes, she did.
And then what? Then I have to still fight in court? I mean,
there's many things in the Amber verse that are like that.
I don't want to do that. I just figured that you guys were going to own up to what you had done and that you would start making amends and start working toward bettering the situation. But apparently you're all incompetent, and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm not communicating my point properly. This is like therapy.
So apparently bitching at us is... Now see, I'm sure this worked in her first marriage. I will bitch until I get what I want. My mother was a trophy wife. I understand this bitching until you get what you want thing. It was my mother's, strategy. That was number one.
Even aggressive words like I pray to God that,
yes, Genji, she skipped court yesterday.
Who are baby thieves that didn't realize that the psychological repercussions aren't just upon the mother, they're upon the children as well as whatever lineage comes from that. So, traumatizing one generation is not going to be okay, like numerous generations in the future, so why would it be okay for my ex-husband to have full rights to the visitations, and I was not access to the child, had no access to the child whatsoever, due to my words?
I'm not bothering with commentary, it would be redundant.
It's not even my words that people are tripped out about. It's the fact that they're accurate as fuck, and it's gonna come back around to them. Because karma, that's how it works. That's what goes around comes around.
Well, the thing is with the baby, until cognitive patterns form, there's going to be no way of diagnosis. Now, unless a child has behavior patterns, no, they're really not going to notice serious issues until the teen years.
So the fact that it sounds like it's coming as a curse from my mouth or my words or my texts or any of that are threats.
Purple, it never stopped my mother, just saying.
It's me saying prayers for you because you're not realizing the curses that you're doing to yourselves.
She bitched to the day
so
she
died.
died.
So when it sounds like I'm threatening you with a curse, or it sounds like, no, you're inflicting it upon yourself. What you're not understanding, and you're bringing it upon yourself because you're continually harming someone that's innocent.
Well, Tay, that would be helpful, because usually extreme acts are only the right thing in an extreme situation to break a cycle. Jijayan. So yes, as a mother, that would be the correct thing to do.
Right now is about to try to privatize all of my videos. Why should I do that? Why should I do that at all? Why would I back down at all? This is just flesh, right? This is just being. You're treating it as if it's trash. Why not go for the full 9 yards, and just plow straight through it? Go up to the proceedings. Apparently the bondsman had mentioned to my mother relayed to me that something about they would cite me out, that they would just let me go, whatever. And you know what? You need to recognize, if this was your own child going through this, if this were your own situation, your own flesh and blood.
The bond people had talked to Leticia's mother and said you have to hold a rein on her. And that's basically why she is where she is and what she's doing.
How would you like it if that female in your family had that baby and she tried. She had nowhere to go. It was a race. She was a rat in their maze, and she was going to every other location. And she
take care of the Dawn. Though you probably already puffed out.
Nobody was filing things properly. They filed against her after speaking out about what had happened, and it was inappropriate. And no one saw it from her perspective. They saw.
Well, you see, I've had YouTuber friends that were schizophrenic, and also the person that helps me with my medicine, his wife is schizophrenic. Now, they're all on medication. And in reality, unless they told you they were schizophrenic, you wouldn't know. Like my friend's wife, I never knew. I mean, I'd known her for years. And she popped up and told me about it one day when I'd mentioned I had known another schizophrenic YouTuber. And I went, really? And then she told me what it's like for her. And from hearing the stories, and this is just layman's bullshit. Usually I can say I'm saying stuff under authority, but this is just Roger's grasp at understanding. I feel schizophrenia is like an out of control imagination. I have this container right here. Now, I know there's aspirin in it, but my mind decides to say there's a poisonous snake or a poisonous spider that is going to bite me. Now, what happens is even though a part of me can understand that there's nothing but ibuprofen in this bottle, the schizophrenia could actually make you believe there's a boogie that's going to get you in the bottle. Now, throughout my therapy, I've kind of came to the conclusion that many of our dysfunctions were to deal with primitive things. So that's where I describe, in my opinion, schizophrenia is an out-of-control imagination. And like I say, there's different, flavors of mental illness, in every illness, in my opinion. But this seems to me to be what the base of schizophrenia is the mind will run away. Its imagination will go to a far end, and then the mind will create that as a reality. Now, in a primitive mind, this is good, because if I think there's a bear in that cave, and then there is a bear in that cave, I've got my spear ready. I'm ready to put it down on the ground and let that bear throw his weight right down on my spear. You see, this is where, in a primitive way, that could actually be a life saving thing. It can have you ready for the worst. But once again, anything run away out of control can turn evil. And in my opinion, that's what schizophrenia is. And now, as I'm saying, that is nothing but pure opinion based on a layman's knowledge.
And no one saw it from her perspective. They saw her as a whore. They saw her as a whore for lying down next to a man that promised he wasn't going to touch me, promised he was going to do right by me, promised that he was going to be a gentleman during that instant. So, instead of being nice to me, you think that the beatings and the abuse is going to help the situation, and it's not. Obviously, it's not. So I make it kind of funny for everybody, but it's not funny at all.
Well, like I say, that was just my theory. Now, it's like borderline. It worked really well with dealing drugs, because when everybody is out to get you and you can't trust anyone, borderline is a heavy asset. And once again, if I'm in business, my borderline could be obvious. But outside of a business state, you don't even know I have it. And I don't have any symptoms of it. But I am a ruthless negotiator in business.
None of this is funny. I've been driven mad. This is what has happened in the years prior with other generations prior. They weren't able to vocalize their opinions. They weren't able to speak out against the government, although my freedoms clearly disclose that it's all right to tell people who's hurting me. And I'm telling you, you're continually hurting me. What's going on? Why am I not able to access the outside world to disclose what's truly going on? Why are you continually abusing me still? Don't do it. Bring my child back.
Hello,
Bring both
Linda.
my children back. Accept that you've done wrong, and realize that you owe me a shit ton of money because I wasn't even that cute. Why were you sticking your dick in me? Why were there so many men that were, purposefully in...
Well, let me see. I can go down to town and show you about 50% of them that would put it in about anything. Just saying. I'm not one of those.
These authoritative positions, they were meeting up with me and still violating me. After knowing my story already, after knowing that I wasn't seeking that, I was seeking somebody that was going to be there in a relationship, an actual relationship where someone was worthy of my time and I theirs. And yeah, I didn't have that much money. What was it about money? Why did everybody just want money from me? It was about companionship. It wasn't even about me trying to steal from anybody else or mooch off of them.
Who was getting paid for the cuddling? $80, Leticia.
Everyone knew I ran away immediately. I didn't like them. I didn't like what I was seeing. I didn't like what I was interacting with. I wasn't any prize, but I sure as fuck wasn't going to downgrade so that I...
The thing is, let's hit the irony train. She was supposed to, in Illinois, on the 20th, go to an extradition to Arkansas. Now, this means she will have an active warrant for a failure to appear in Illinois now. But she's already in Arkansas, hiding from the police. Now, the bail bonds company has told her mom she has to keep an eye on her. So once again, that's where she is. But the outstanding for that will be in Illinois. And once again, she could be picked up. But I think it was January the 19th she's required to appear. So once again, the bail company could take her in now. But they just basically told mom, just keep an eye on her.
Had fucking little fucked up children with other psychological issues as well as physical impairments. So I figured don't procreate. Don't do it. Make sure you refrain. So I did. I disengaged a lot, even the times where I was.
Well, once again, I don't like to push the negative, Miss Nicolina, but talking to the YouTube schizophrenic, it can be a nightmare scape. The runaway imagination. And once again, if you add a couple other dysfunctions, if you get someone with the schizophrenia that has something like an auditory hallucination that, comes with it, once again, that wild imagination can also make them imagine they're hearing or thinking or someone's talking to them that's not, when it's really just their imagination. You see, this is the curse of it. This is why I'm saying that untreated schizophrenia is literally a nightmare in the mind. And this is why I've always said that if Leticia was actually to get on a medication regimen, we would probably get another Leticia. Because once again, the people that I know are schizophrenic are all on medications, and unless they told you they were schizophrenic, you wouldn't pick up on it.
Make sure you refrain. So I did. I disengaged a lot, even the times where I was fornicating, being a fucking monster and animal. I had to catch myself, and I had to realize, don't do that shit, Leticia. Don't do that. You're better than that. You don't need to just be fornicating, and also you definitely don't need that person's child. And that's exactly what I thought when I met this person. So I should have known better, and I should have gotten the plan B regardless. I wanted the child. I wanted whatever child came from me. I'm not going to denounce that. These are all viable thoughts. You people are crazy. You're taking one excerpt of something.
Well, yeah, Leticia, obviously I'm crazy because I have this perception that for 9 months you kept saying you were going to mangulate the baby. So, obviously I am crazy because apparently none of that ever happened.
Clarifying it as your own, like if that's the entire thought. No, you're an idiot. You know damn well that
I'm sorry to hear that, Alex. I really am.
That child deserves me, that child chose my vessel to come through, and that child belongs with me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You already know that that's the way it was supposed to happen. That's the way that you were supposed to let it progress, and you keep fucking things up because you're wanting that for your own children. You're wanting that for your own karma. You're wanting that for your own issues. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know why you would continue to do it to anyone else when you know the repercussions of that. So, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to make sense of all of this. I'm trying to make sense of why you're so stupid. And I'm just here like, whatever. I'm just in this vessel. I have to deal with whatever nonsense you're doing. I already know better than to act out. I know better than to even act out against whatever role you're trying to perceive me as. Like, what are you trying to do with my story? I would like to be let go, and I would like my child back, and it's not about questioning if I'm right or wrong. Right. You already know I'm right.
I just thought of something. Today was YouTube payday, and she started bitching. I mean, if I was a monetized channel, and it was YouTube payday and I woke up, you know what my first thought would be? Hey, it's YouTube payday. But not Leticia's.
You already know damn well. You know damn well the whole proceeding was inaccurate. You knew that if it would have been any other person, any other pawn, you would have willingly accepted.
Well, Alex, it's no problem.
But
I try to have understanding.
For Leticia.
And when I went into therapy, I had no diagnosis. So the first thing that I did is I learned everything I could there was to learn about every dysfunction I could learn.
You decided the child wasn't good enough for me, and that's not fair. I still stated he was fine. He was.
Hello, Adonis.
I was freaking out.
We listened to Leticia's morning rant. Now, Adonis, I just mentioned Leticia got up this morning bitching at about 7 o'clock in the morning her time. It's YouTube payday. And where all of us here have been waking up during this live, and now I'm kind of awake now, Leticia started animate, angry, and it's YouTube payday. If I woke up, if I had a monetized channel, I'd wake up and go, hey, it's YouTube payday. But not Leticia. And where does she get this energy in the morning? If she put that into any kind of a real effort, she would have more, she would have all the money. Literally.
He was part of me. I was freaking out. Still, of course, I had plenty of racing thoughts. Everyone does.
Well, yeah. Well, to me, it's, the fact you just know it's morning. It's like with my disability, if I get it the first, but if the first falls on a weekend or a holiday, I get it the day before. So this month, I get paid on the last day of the month. I thought of that when I got up this morning, because I got to budget out what I got. I'm like, hey, I get paid on the last day of the month. I mean, I'm looking for it 10 days down the road, thinking, hey, we're almost there. Leticia gets it at 11 a.m. and she ain't happy.
I had plenty of racing thoughts. Everyone does.
Actually,
Tay, in a circumstance where it would...
Probably. Because, as I said, Leticia's car has none of her stuff in it. But it's set up with a bed in the back. So she's sleeping in it. So I say that she's not allowed inside during dark hours. I figure like they put her out into the vehicle. She sleeps there. And because the way she ended her life earlier was kind of like, gotta go by. So my theory was she was waiting for someone to open the house and was just getting absolutely positively annoyed the entire time and had to share it with us.
I had plenty of racing thoughts. Everyone does, especially if they're in a circumstance where it was life or death. And I already knew. I was like, I'm fucked either way. I don't want to do this.
Oh, no, I do.
Do this. And you forced me to give birth to it. And then you forced me to get attached to it.
I had a therapist that conned me into coming to YouTube. So, yes, somewhere in Bowling Green, there is a woman that is the reason that I'm here because I lost an argument. Yes. Now, once again, that's the last argument I can think of that I've lost. And I can't remember the argument I lost before that, but I did lose that one, and I am here.
And then it was like... I should have just gone with the devil.
Well, they gave me Xanax when Xanax was brand new. And Xanax makes me evil. I mean, evil beyond human imagination. And when they took me off of that, all the evil went away. And then I found out from a couple injuries that if I take pain medication over a week, well, I start to become evil again. And when I started having seizures, here, take this. They gave me Seroquel. It made me into a human monster, and I was literally plotting everyone I saw's murder. And I had never done that before in my life. But that drug, Seroquel, had such a bad reaction to me. I was literally planning on killing everyone. And I still don't know why. And after that, I had to explain to the doctor, you told me there was going to be no problem with this. And I could have killed people. So then I told the doctor, if you give me anything and I harm anyone, I'm going to kill you. Yes, I did. So then I told him, I do not think that you need to be my doctor anymore. And then I went to find another one. And that one did not understand English either. So I currently do not have an active doctor. Because, it's either that or shove the doctor through the window or, kill him with tongue depressors up the butt. and that would be kind of YouTube unfriendly.
I should have just gone with the devil and just killed it off immediately. I should have.
Well, pharmaceuticals can be a bad thing, but you have to know you. I can't, it's like pain pills. I can't do them. Now, I could take them maybe 3 to 5 days. But, when we start getting to that week, it starts to alter me. And that was the same thing with the Xanax, but I was young, and if they told me to take it, I take it. And then they kept giving me more, and my behavior got worse and worse and worse and worse. to where if I didn't like your voice, I would throw you out of a room. Literally. Now, the thing is, though, in reality, you can go up to the room and look really intimidating and tell most people to leave, and they will. Now, about 15% won't, and of course, those people I attacked and I threw them out of the room. Like I said, Xanax made me evil beyond human understanding. And Leticia heard me talk about that, and then after that, that's when she all of a sudden said, I took Xanax with the puppies. You know, she had never said the word Xanax until I did a big live and we talked about that. And the first time that I talked about how certain medications will have such a bad reaction to me that, that Roger don't need to be in society. But the thing is, it's the medication. So once again, I just screen what I put in my body to an extreme level and everything is okay. But once again, if I was just to go out and start taking medications, I would become dangerous.
And just killed it off immediately. I should have. I should have accepted that as truth, because the devil was already going to snare it anyway.
Yes, yeah, Mom, she did.
Better than to accept anybody's seed inside of me anymore after my first child that I love so much. You can't replace one child's love with another child's love. And I used to cry about these things. I used to be very sentimental.
Yes, Cass, it does suck. Because you don't feel good either.
Materialistic things.
You feel hostile all the time.
Own children, right? Well, that's how they're treating it. They're allowing my ex-husband to own my child.
No, it does. It comes in 0.5 and 1.0s. And they used to have me on the 1.0s.
Not having access to her other parent because the individuals say that I was dangerous, where in actuality it was them that they were the dangerous ones. And then everything. You know damn well that I'm not accurate on everything. And that
you see, this was when they put that on me. This was a brand new drug. They just said, this is a tranquilizer. This will help you sleep. Like I said, when they gave me Xanax, it was fresh off the line. So, I was kind of a guinea pig.
Too smart for my own good. And I don't like this anymore. I should have been in court already. Who cares? No one cares.
And I think she had the 1.0.
Not this flesh, not this being.
So she took 91.0.
Right up and just run right over so you can snatch me and touch me again. No, you're not supposed to touch me. You're not supposed to violate me. You're not supposed to have done that. And I chose to violate myself because I hated myself. I hated myself. I was afraid of everyone. Why would I run right over to try to speak to officers when officers have been the ones that have been violating me for years? So, that's the first thing I'm going to go do is run right over, tell them, oh yeah, someone stuck his penis in me.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's her story. Once again, with Leticia, I could go on and on. But, once again, that is her story. I'm just relaying it. Now, you see, I do save some things for poo-poo later, but you are right. I could do about a 7 or 8 minute presentation on that, but it's morning. I do save some things to poo-poo later. I always do, by the way.
I want to be humiliated because I want you to jack off to that thought. No thanks. I've been humiliated about all of this. That's why I didn't want to disclose a lot of it, but then I realized the more I disclosed it, the more people were realizing that wasn't okay. When our dads and when our relatives and everything touches us, that is not okay. That is grooming in the negative way, and we have psychological repercussions that leak down to our children, and we ended up, our children have problems. I shouldn't get so
children
loud,
do
but
have problems.
I'm fucking traumatized. Why do you think I get
so loud? Are you traumatized?
Why do you think I'm tripping all the time? And
Are
it's
you
not the weed.
horrified?
That's what helps me calm the fuck down, because otherwise I'd be carving into my skin right now. Carving into my skin to see where the feeling comes from. That's
Anybody else
my
thinking about
mind is.
Thanksgiving
That's how
now? She
crazy
said
this flesh
carving.
is, because I'm like, damn, is this even real? They're allowed to traumatize me. They're allowed to violate me. Every man is just allowed
Sorry, honey,
to
I'm
own me,
moderating my own chat. I
regardless.
gotta hit the
They don't
buttons. I gotta
file
let
any
people
suits.
stuff
They
you
don't
see me.
file any. They don't handle the perpetrators. They just handle the victims with care. You know.
Oh yeah.
Let's
yeah.
shove them and lock them away. This one knows too much. This one is too talkative. That's what my parents did already. Like, the cycle just is looping itself over. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I didn't willingly sign those children over, mind you. You forced me to.
Forced
Because you
them
didn't
to.
give me any other
Now,
option.
Now, listen to those words. She does admit she signed them over. Now, we listened to her live, or today live earlier, and remember, she didn't say that, did she?
Forced me into
She
giving,
said she
the
didn't.
pills and everything. You knew damn well where the fuck I was. You knew you could have stopped me. You could have had someone come out. You know damn well you've been monitoring me. Quit making it out to be like you're not. You even had a ping on my phone. You knew exactly what was going on in the videos I was creating, and not even posting the fucking shit that I was saying. You had been monitoring that. You knew the dark shit.
Well, I'm pretty good with training animals, and I've trained them for trust. Now, one girl around here named Ashley, she had me work with her young cats because she wanted to, because I can take your cat and get them to act like my cat. And that was one thing that I used to do, is if she got a kitten, she would have me work with the kitten. So, the kitten would become more like this. Now, Rochella has no bones at all. Do you, honey? Has no bones.
That I was saying. You had been monitoring that. You knew the dark shit that was going to go down. You knew. You still have copies of that shit. The fuck are you trying to tell people? I only publicized just a fraction of it. Just a fucking fraction of it. And you're still tripping. You're tripping, not me. I know what the fuck the truth is. And that's, don't trust you. You guys are crazy. You guys are
taking care of business. You have it correct.
What am I going to do with the life of my child? That's just how men act, too. Why should I care? It's not my flesh and blood. Oh, shit. Oh, it's your DNA? Aw, nah, it's alright. Ain't nobody give a shit about that. That's just beat off. That's just run off. Like, that's the truth. That's just part of the energy flow. It doesn't matter that it comes through a woman. Fuck that bitch. She wanted to be a female. That's what she chose in this life. She wanted that pain and that attachment. It's her fault. It came out of her body. So, that's the mindset. That's how it should be, the simple-mindedness of it all. And I should have known better. I should have known. Like, don't fuck with the man. They'll fuck with you. They'll make sure they'll put you in your fucking place. They'll put you in your fucking place, which is they'll make sure you understand you ain't got no child. You ain't got nothing. You ain't got shit without me. You ain't got shit without the tip of my dick. Damn. Whoa. You can keep it. You can have it. I'm not gonna play that game anymore. Not at all. Fuck no. Stay the fuck away from me. And straight up, like, I'm not playing your game. I'm not playing that fucking shit. I'm not lying to say, oh no, I made it all up. I was mentally ill. Not that mentally ill. I wasn't that mentally ill. I know who touched me. He did it. He did it. He did it. And I said no. And you heard me say no. Don't play.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt if there's a few other disorders in Leticia. But once again, with the schizophrenia, it really, really is going to take an extremely good professional to be able to tell us exactly what is what. But yeah, I would say that there's a few other little initials in her, but they're not the big ones. I think they're small ones. Like an avoidance disorder, a defiance disorder, Now, she's big with the defiance.
And you heard me say no.
Hello, coffee
Stop
artist.
playing. No. Mm-mm.
And Richella Butt.
Mm-mm. Nope. And people are like, oh, she's faking it. Nope. You know what goes on in my mind. Do-do-do.
Of course I do.
Half the time I'm just in happy-go-lucky land. Not thinking a care in the world, hoping everybody's going to be good to me, hoping everybody's going to just do right by me.
That's the kid ego state.
Gaslighted everywhere.
The brat.
Lured into traps constantly. You do it all the time, like a stupid rabbit that was house trained for a while and then set loose in the wild. Like, doesn't know how to survive.
You want to eat a baby Leticia bunny?
I'm gonna die soon. This is not fun. This is not fun at all. Not at all. I was in a cage for too long, and then you let me loose in the wild? I don't know how to survive out here. What the fuck? Like, I just don't know. I thought you were being nice with all the...
No, see, she's going into the brat right now. She's having an ego, because see, sometimes your ego states can mix a little, and she's having a transition. She's going from the manipulator into the brat. Now, the manipulator is the one that says, remember when she says, I want the baby. I've been taking care of myself for years. Oh, well, now you hear her right there. Like I say, it's a different ego state because your different ego states can have different opinions.
With the baby, I thought you
it's how you decide things.
It was going to help me. And then I realized I was just
Autumn's come here. Autumn, you're in heat.
Not a very cute
shit.
One either. So it's not like I
was
saving from the very beginning.
Ow!
And neither was the offspring of this experiment.
How about if you don't
Sometimes
fight on top of me?
Swallow it and just take it and realize. And I knew I was unwanted. That's why I started creating the videos. So I can disclose to other unwanteds what's actually going on in the system. How they're really treating us.
You gonna slap your sister on camera, Richella?
Actually survive because regardless, they'll make up stuff.
I'm getting evidence of your abuse.
They'll make up their own nonsense and they'll eat away at your conscience for no good reason because you didn't do anything wrong. Not legally and nothing that could be traced on their end, or so they say. But everything is tracked and traced because they have video surveillance everywhere, including our own homes. I tried to explain that to people. It's within the electrical working, like the workings of it. They can have 3D imaging of the home, how they can get the frequency of our brains and how they're working, and also the chemicals that are being released during the process of, say, when we're angry or when we're happy or any of that kind of crap. They have all that functioning. They know what's on our mind.
There. Watch it because they want to. Just saying.
They know with me I'm super sad all the time, and they keep doing it. They want to keep me down, because if I were, like, at a higher...
Well, I'm here to be entertaining, so you want to talk Saw movies. So, let me see, I don't have a Saw. Don't have a Saw. I do have a tomahawk, but I don't have a Saw. Now, let me see. No, that's not a Saw. And let me see. That's not a Saw. And that's not a Saw. And this isn't a saw either. So I guess you'll just have to get your saw somewhere else. All we have are those. Now, once again, done with the comedy, and now we're back to the Leticia.
If I were to, like, at a higher level, then I would freak everybody out, because I'm constantly I've got a lot of hyperactive energy when I'm happy. They made some mistakes with me. Just like somebody said something about, like, the father of the child made a mistake meeting me. Yeah, he did. We both made a mistake. We both understand that. We both realize, the child was worse off. I do, at the very least. I know. The only one that's going to really hurt is the child for many years until they recognize their own worth, which was less than $50. And he's going to realize that he's just going to hate life so badly because his father was a horrible monster.
Now I have Alice Cooper $1 billion babies going through my head. I'm glad that Leticia never heard that song because she would be demanding $1 billion for her baby.
And his mother tried, but she just couldn't succeed. Tried, and failed. And there's nothing I can do. The father rejected the child. That's what happens when a father rejects its young. So, and that happens in the animal world all the time, and I realized that. And I was like, oh my God, we're just animals anyway. It doesn't really matter. God's going to do what he needs to do in order to help me along on my own path and my journey, hopefully. Although psychologically this doesn't help, so I didn't know why there was such a punishment within all of this. I thought it was going to be a blessing overall. I thought that I was going to end up getting that oxytocin that I needed to balance myself out. But that was a lie. So I'm like, well, what is a lie then? What is this tangible world? What is this reality truly? What is this? What is going?
Actually, let's hit with a point of philosophy. She says, what is a lie? Actually, what is the truth? And more importantly, what is the truthfulness of this truth? And what is the usefulness of a truth?
On in the space in the world around us, and all the chemical compounds, those atomic molecules that we're made out of. What is that? What is that energy flow and the kinetic energy? What is the purpose of life? What is the purpose of trauma? What's the purpose of harboring any resentment or any attachment toward anything if that's not the purpose in life overall? If when you pass, the only thing you have is yourself, and if within yourself you were unwanted from the beginning, and you knew everyone didn't want you at all, or even within your mother, she was unwanted. So that means that you're going to be denied the things that everyone else was privy to, privileged enough to have, because you didn't have the proper parents. Even as a foster child or an adopted child, it will not ever make you suitable in the world around you. You will always be dirt because your parents are dirt. Your bloodline is dirt. And when you find that out too later on, you're just trash in your own mind.
He comes from Brandon Bell's community.
In everyone else's mind, the society around you, everything. And that's unfortunate because that's normally how people react when they have issues with self-esteem issues and things, because they didn't have proper parenting. So it's going to continue on. Apparently there's going to be a lot of craziness that happens. I mean, this is just an omen as to what's
oh yes,
to come,
this is
and the insanity that's
Leticia Collins Servins, or excuse me, Servins Collins. Love notes for TLC, the most prolific false accuser of men that I have heard of in my life, because once again, every interaction with her ends up in grape.
to come, especially if it's going to happen and last for 21 years, then, I mean, it's just right, whatever those prophecies are, whatever they wanted to do with my body, they used me in the process of getting whatever they needed in order to fulfill their prophecies, which, that seems weird. I didn't think that made any sense whatsoever, but the fact that he was sacrificed is not something that I take lightly.
Oh.
You can't just sacrifice one.
As long as someone's not being disruptive and they're not attacking other people in chat and they're not here just to specifically attack me, I'm open to all opinions. Once again, it's something that's disruptive to the channel, that's gone in a minute. Other than that, everyone here is entitled to their opinion, because once again, a good opinion about something, we might stop and have a 15-minute discussion about, the relevance of it, its points, its merits, the counterpoints. You never know. It depends on what chaos throws us. Now with Leticia, she's so circular, there's usually not many of those moments. Sometimes there are, but it kind of depends on the character you're talking about. Now, I prefer to fight dragons. I don't worry about minor infractions or ogres or other little things because you can usually meet common ground because no one's perfect. But Leticia is a predatory female, and her victims are men and the system, which is kind of a turning of the head on things the way that it usually is, which in that way makes it a novelty to itself. Now, if you wonder why people watch it, it's primitive man. Because if you see something odd out of your eye as a primitive man, it could be a danger. So your eye is drawn to it. You must focus on this. You must know it. You must understand it for your safety. But our primitive issues come to us in our civilized society. And one of the ways a part of our primitive man works itself out is when we see an oddity like Leticia, or something's not normal, or something that we perceive that could be a danger, we can't look away. And that's because of our Paleolithic hunter-gatherer past.
You can't
To
just
give you a quick
sacrifice one
understanding
soul in order
on
to
why
save
people watch
so
someone
many.
like Leticia.
If those so many are completely great, ungrateful of everything around them, and I just don't see the benefit of that. I feel like,
Well, in certain cases it is. And there's been certain times that my creator groups have starved lolcows of attention, like Cynthia Beaumont. And at one time we did do it to Truthfully Tricia. And their channels did tank. But that was done when they were full of themselves. Now, Leticia was just as full of herself when she started YouTube as she is now. Now, the thing about encouraging her with YouTube is by watching her and keeping a spotlight on her, you can nullify her bad behavior. Now, Nicolina, which many people in this chat know, she called up and she did make sure, she admitted this freely, so, I'm not selling anyone out. She did get involved and she made sure that baby was taken away from Leticia. And the fact that directly correlated to Nicolina's actions. And that was because we were keeping an eye on her. So that is one thing that I do here, when things are, quote, less than maximum interesting, I'm doing my mediocre job of keeping an eye on the monster.
I just don't see the benefit of that.
And making it understandable and entertaining as best I can while I'm doing it.
Learn to accept that soul, accept the world around you, accept the flow of nature.
Thank you,
instead
Corky.
of sacrifice living beings, and realize, why don't you sacrifice yourselves? Why don't you sacrifice your own offspring? Why don't you sacrifice your own story? Why is mine just so perfect that you had to make it just so and traumatize me more and more through it?
She needs a place to take her meds because, for those people that have come in and out, I have said that I know multiple schizophrenics. They're all on medications. They're all okay. They all have jobs. They all have lives. They all function. And until they told me they were schizophrenic, I didn't know. I couldn't tell. So I have always said that if she gets on the medication and is forced to stay on it, we would probably get a different Leticia on the other side. Maybe even one that we like. Because, just as I said that the drug changes with me, to where if you give me drugs in the wrong way, I'll act bad. Where if she's given the right drugs, she might act better. In fact, she will at some point be maybe not 100% perfect person, but we would get a different Leticia.
More throughout the process, causing me to look like I'm insane to others, causing me to look like I should just plead insanity.
Hello, Nippy.
No, we all know I'm not insane. I'm just too aware of my surroundings, too smart for my own good. And if I would have had the studio like, Einstein or anything like that, I might have been something or someone. If I would have had the science lab or the access to anything, I would have probably.
If I had a studio like Einstein, Einstein had a blackboard. You know, that was basic, and his studio was his mind, and he expressed himself with his equations through a blackboard. You know, Einstein didn't have some lab because he was a theorist. I mean, all he had to do was have something to write on.
Delved further into that instead of just what somebody said, the humanities being the arts. Yes, I meant like human services, like any of the human services departments. I don't know. People talk about stuff on my feed, and it just makes me, my mind trails, of course. It doesn't matter anyway. None of it matters. None of you matter. Nothing you say matters. It really does not.
That's nice.
I think that's really funny. I think it's sad that you're gonna have to watch that child grow up.
Now, if she wasn't mentally ill, I would make a video taunting her that, well, I guess it didn't matter that Nicolina got your baby taken away from you. But once again, because she's mentally ill, I'm not going to do a video like I am for Ernie. You know, once again, if Ernie was in her place, you know, I would make a ha-ha F-you video. But because she is a mentally ill person, you know, I do treat her with kid gloves, even though a lot of people don't see it that way.
Become mentally ill and unstable. I think that is like the worst part of me having to sit this and like just watch it unfold. The weird thing is that day after day, it gets
I'll moderate. You know, I'm just gonna let people have their word. As long as people aren't attacking each other, they can always.
Pain because my pain tolerance is so high. There has been nothing that I've done in my life.
Now, see, Genji, part of my entertainment is sometimes when the trolls say something stupid, I can see, like Leticia right here. I mean, you guys are learning a little bit, but she's being less than entertaining. But you see, if I get a troll here, like talking to me about food, I mean, I've got like 6 pounds of hamburger thawed. I mean, I think I'm eating pretty damn good, and I'm eating and I'm lifting this itty bitty weight right here. So you know, I got my diet on my side. I got my exercise. I'm eating right. I'm saying my prayers to Satan. I'm joking about this prayers part, but remember how they keep trying to call Nicolina 666 and trying to say we all worship the devil, and it's our fight between light and darkness, and we're supposedly the darkness. Actually, God and I don't speak, but neither do I and the devil.
Done in my life that nice. I'm surprised that it still continued playing. Last time it didn't. These electronics. Apparently, I'm supposed to get off of this stuff because it's Satan. All of it. The fact that you were
weed. You know what you just did? You just violated channel policy, and you got
banned.
Hey, gone.
Interesting, because that's off the record. But technically, it's still on the record because it's still recorded and documented. Interesting. It's interesting how the world works like that. How you can pick and choose what everyone else gets to.
Now, the audio screwing up is on her side. I thought at first it was on my side, but it's on her side.
You force feed them, just like in their troughs when they go to public school and all this crap, like I was telling you. That's why.
Well, like I say, sometimes when the trolls come in, I will make them a part of the show. Now, once again, if there was something intense going on, I'd just hit them gone and I wouldn't even say a word. But if I can make them entertaining, or just show them they're a fool and then get rid of them, it's fine. Or you just wait a minute and they do say something just like he did that you didn't see that violates channel policy, and you just take them right out and you keep your morals. You made them a little bit entertaining. But no, thank you, Genji. I do appreciate it.
I guess I was a little too smart. I guess I caught on. What is this prophecy, too, about this 21 years?
Well, take care, Focus. Have a good day.
That's even odder that it was
and have a good
21 and
workout.
not 18. The fuck are you doing with my kid? He's not a fucking demon. Like, I said the fucking Lord's Prayer as he was coming out of my body. So what is going on? Why are you stealing him? Why did you steal him? So that you could influence him in such a manner. I need him back. He's going to be fucked up in the brain. Are you insane? Are you insane? So anyway, but I'm not going to fight for it like that. You know damn well I'm not going to sit there and put money into you, feed money into your dragon bullshit. Fuck you. You can keep the baby then, and he'll end up with a bunch of psychological disorders, and that'll be your prophecy for the years to come. His insanity. And then the insanity of the world around you, and all the people that you loved most, and dementia, everyone. Everyone's going crazy, because then they found out the truth. Oh my God, the real truth. And nothing but the truth, so help us God. So, anywho, what's up with that? What's up with that? Like, you guys are so funny. Like, I laugh so much at you. You guys are so silly.
Well, if you say Leticia's batshit crazy, you're sane.
You guys take these words and you manipulate them and the people around you with your words. That is so funny. You guys are so funny. And then you guys sit there and tell people too something about like all these papers, documents,
morning pollen,
all this other BS. You know damn well that all we are is energy, the flow of nature. You just all of it. It's so crazy. You guys don't tell people the truth.
Well, Dr. Carol got in trouble. Yes, now, for those that don't know, Adonis, Paul, and the fuck people, I mean, we kind of got angry at Dr. Carol, and Dr. Carol had Leticia take down all the videos, and we're not sure that Dr. Carol is practicing anymore, but I do believe there is a high chance that, you know, myself, Adonis, and the fuck people are possibly have a old man psychologist head on our YouTube belt. You know, once again, you know, being in all honesty, you know, about what happens in YouTube, I do think that we might have put old Dr. Carol out of business. For right or wrong, that's up for you guys to decide. But you know, it is what it is.
None of it. So, why do you hate me so much? Huh? Why do you hate me? Why? I thought we were working together. I thought we had a symbiotic relationship. I thought you loved me. I thought you cared about me. Honestly.
Now, this is theatrical child shit. I thought you cared about me. Hear how contrived that it is? Now, you see how contrived it is, but you also hear how it flowed off of her. She has said that to men before.
I truly did. And then I go off on my tangents and go off on my acting because I'm like, you guys have got to be fucking crazy. You've got to be crazy if you saw I fell for your bullshit. You thought I fell for your nonsense. You know me since I was a child. I just stared at the shit that was going on and I was like, that's illegal. That's completely not right. That is completely wrong. Oh, guess what? I'm going to tell on you. Didn't I do that? Didn't I go around reprimanding everyone? And I still do. I still have to. I still have to talk back to you. And I'm like, oh, I tried to privatize some of those videos. Gotta make them all public. Gotta make sure everyone, as far as I can reach, knows, so that they know what's really going on here. Why? Why?
Kitties knock everything off in the middle of the night.
Our souls, our currency. Our bodies. The way that we think, the way that we're manipulated into thinking, the way that we're forced to balance ourselves out, the way We have to balance ourselves out. Didn't you take too much already? What? Where's the equalness in that? Where's my babies? All my life I thought, you're not supposed to have children, but if God blesses you with those children, those are your children. That is you. Those are your gift from God. Because I wasn't seeking it. That's the difference. I wasn't seeking the children, and God blessed me with them. And you ripped them away. Over papers. Over ink. What? What? You guys are so silly. You guys are so silly. And money, paper, more paper, paper is supposed to be above the energetic connection between a child and its mother, especially a good mother and a good baby. He was such a pretty baby. I miss him a lot. I'm not going to lie. But knowing that you guys are just fucking with me, that doesn't make me love him like that. It makes me scared of him. It makes me scared of you. It makes me scared of the father. It makes me scared of everyone around me. It makes me scared to talk to the police. It makes me scared to go to the courts. It makes me scared. I'm traumatized. I'm traumatized. And not everyone is taking all of this stuff and understanding, like, if this were you in your circumstance, if this were your flesh, if you didn't understand, if everyone around you had always told you, it's okay, just keep your mouth shut. I don't understand it. I'm completely horrified. I wouldn't have chose this life. I mean, maybe I was just overzealous, and I was just willing to get into whatever body. I was supposed to be here at this exact moment, at this exact time, right? And this time frame. I mean, everything else is so super cool. I'm excited to move forward in my life. I know I've got a little loose skin, but after I end up getting away from these charges and away from the energetic connection between the child and I, then there's nothing else I have. I just sever the ties. I can do that all the time. Any day, any moment that I want to. Just sever the ties between reality around me, or whatever you presume is reality, whatever you presume this flesh is. So, and I don't understand. And then people are like, well, that's weird. No, it's detachment. I'm traumatized. I have severe complex post-traumatic stress disorder. But nobody wants to understand that. Instead, they want to blame it on me and my psychosis. I'm not having psychosis. I'm fine. I'm okay. Like, my body's okay. Nobody's poking me right now. Nobody's touching me. Nobody's probing me. Nobody is violating me at this very moment. I'm okay. Except for the air conditioning in the car, of course, the little particles and that. And the air conditioning is actually toxic to us. All the things. Those things, yeah. The chemicals in the air, all of it. Metallics, yeah, that's bothering me. That's contaminating me. I've got illnesses due to that. Who can I sue for that? You know? But then you can't really sue because it's like these people created this stuff and then they toxified you, but they're never held responsible for it in this day and age. They're never actually held responsible. Then they had to realize, oh, their children get their karma. I forgot about that. I don't even have to raise my voice most of the time, and people understand me. I just have to voice my opinion and put my foot down. And generally people understand. I didn't understand why the father didn't understand, but that's on him. That's his own karma. That was his choice, that he wanted to choose me and violate me. And then thereafter his children and everything will be violated in turn. That's how it works. That's how karma works. That's how the flow of nature works. So unfortunately, it just came very quickly with our family, our relationship. I laughed so much because I was like, you know what? Don't ever feel sad, Leticia. Don't ever feel sad because you tried. And you tried to make him see. And you tried to make him understand. And you try to make people see all the time. And they don't want to see. They refuse to see. They don't want to see because that would harm them. That would cause them to panic. That would cause them to hate themselves and be in denial and hurt themselves too, like I hurt myself. But that's okay. I mean, what's the problem with that? What's the problem with disclosing, you know, I'm just a mother that had her children ripped away. I had her, you You know, I had so much, and yet nothing. And I just wanted the love of my baby. And that's just, I guess, the perfect story, right? The perfect plot to persuade everyone into changing on their own. Persuading people into having compassion and a heart and willingness to give to others where they can. Interesting. What an interesting story. Sometimes I can
Leticia, you make me smoke too much pot.
reality.
Shade.
And it was never premeditated. Like,
I love this because where I have this sitting, you know, I can just like hold shit right below you and you can't see me like pack a bowl.
They understand it. There's something inside of me. It's been eating away at my brain. It's not cancer. There's nothing wrong with me. Okay? They'll say it is, I'm sure, at some point. I've been so traumatized and I've had such a severe head injury that numerous times that I know all forms of the reality within the form. It makes no sense. Like a box within a box. Like
I've had so many concussions, you could practically flip me in the head and give me one.
Sometimes. So I can come in and out of this and then not remember a thing. Not remember any of it because of the differences in the chemicals that were forced into not level.
No, see, what she's trying to do right now is she will dissociate and deny it, then suppress it. And this is her psychology. Now, of course, she's coming up with some bullshit reason of why. Now, once again, when I started going into therapy, you know, things came back to me that I had completely forgotten. Lots and lots of things.
Level in my brain. Okay? So I know they say that I've got instability.
I will, Genji.
Medications. I will not take your medication. No. I will stabilize myself. I do it well enough. I do it just fine. I don't need your help anymore. You traumatized me enough.
Okay.
So
now, if I was a clip channel, I would start doing that. You hear that? I don't need your help anymore. I would just make a giant long clip, go through Leticia's in these momentary denials that, you know, make her sound responsible. I would put them together in one giant clip that if I went through like 50 24-hour periods, you know, I might be able to get like a 30-second clip of, you know, her sounding like positive Leticia and no, I've got this, Leticia. Hello, Bridget.
Pumping me full of stuff without me even knowing anyway. I get that. I understand that. Slightly grateful, slightly not so grateful.
Well, Monica, remember, we caught her adopting 3 things of my story. And the theory was that she's going around and adopting other people's stories too. And I had kind of, and I'm reiterating that here because I had asked everyone to pay attention to other creators that I don't know and see if you feel that she's pulling out of their stories. Now, this could be her pulling out of another creator's story. And because anything new like this, because that's how it was with my stuff. It was just, this is new and out of the blue. So anything that you see new and out of the blue, think about your creators you know and see if it lines up with them.
Slightly not so grateful. I'm grateful to not be in such a severe depressed state.
Oh, she skipped court.
As I once was, and that I'm able to function in the world around me better than I once did. So
it was yesterday.
But I am not grateful that you stole my baby. That's going to leave me with scars that I'm going to have to deal with on this 3D plane, on this level, as Leticia Collins, Leticia servant.
Remember earlier she said that she was glad they got rid of the baby.
I don't know that I know too much, if that makes any sense. That should make some sense to some people because I'm not all I'm not all here. Especially, it depends too if people are physically in front of me. If there's a tangible being, it's completely different. I'm trying to see it from what they're talking about, and a lot of times I do see that they're lying. But I go with it anyway, because I think to myself, what's the harm? If that's what they want to do is lie to me, then so be it. I'll go along with it.
Now, you see, this is Leticia. Now, she let a slip right here by accident. You heard her, what's the harm? Now, this is another thing that sounds like she said this to herself a million times. So I'm sure whenever, but when Leticia says, what's the harm? What's the harm in it for Leticia, not what Leticia is doing?
And then hopefully they won't lie anymore. Hopefully they'll get over it. Hopefully they don't need to lie to anyone else either.
Well, yeah, if she would have just went to court and she would have got her slap on the wrist and would have been on her way.
Everything has,
and maybe had the baby
you don't have to be so
and housing.
You don't have to be so heartless. That there are times where you can let your guard down too, and not everybody's out to hurt you. And I don't know. I'm really thirsty. It may seem like I'm like crying and tearing up and stuff. No, apparently I'm a psychopath. Apparently I have no feelings or emotions anymore after this baby was stolen. And I just realized, like, you guys are gonna get your karma regardless.
Now you see, this is what she wants you to think. She's a psychopath. She's going from to
Oh, you might be hearing me kind of weird. Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares about you? You guys are so funny. You guys are so funny in your weird electronics. And it's like, and then I have to touch stuff? Ew. Nobody wants to touch anything. That's disgusting. This stuff is hilarious. What? And then this all flaps around now? Like, and I get to have this. I have this. This is my flesh. I get to do with it what I want to do with it. Which...
Well, it's why she doesn't need a kid in her custody. And I don't believe in committing people forever. But there are people that do need committed forever. There are exceptions to what we would consider a good guideline. And Leticia is one of these people. Once again, if she was to take medication, we might have a different Leticia. We'll never know unless she gets on it.
I don't want to deal with any of that shit in the courts. I don't want to deal with the baby. Like, I love the baby, but I don't want to deal with the father. I don't want to deal with the father or that baby. Like, that's what I truly believe. Like, I gotta go from...
Now, you see, she just went right back to that. All of a sudden, the baby's nothing. One moment ago, give me my baby. Now, see, that's what would have got the baby hurt. That moment of, I want the baby, I don't want the baby. And you saw how fast she went back and forth. And that's how it would be with the abuse of the baby. Because she would then abuse the babies at the moment she wouldn't want to. Then she would get guilt over it. Then she would work in her psychosis. Then she would blame everyone in the world for it but her. And then she would delude herself into thinking it.
Because I can never decide. But in
yes, Bobby Joe, she is. And that's why we got to keep an eye on her. Or at least I do. You guys get to drive by.
Like, if I need to work for it, no, then that means I shouldn't have had it. That means too much stress.
Well, unless they commit her.
If I went through 9 months to give it...
Now, the bond company suggested to Leticia that her mom commit her because Leticia has bitched about this. And it would be best for everyone because they would make her get on that medicine. And once again, as I said, if they get her on schizophrenic medicine, we don't know what the Leticia that comes out of the other side. She could be a perfectly functioning human being, as weird as that sounds.
To someone else, fuck it. Who cares? What's the purpose of caring anymore? You've already fucked me up enough. You've already beaten the shit out of me enough. I know not to care. I know not to give two shits. That's the issue. Like, I've already been traumatized and beaten and robbed and raped and like, okay, you got it. You want it? take it. Just don't touch me anymore. Don't come near me. Don't send your fucking people up to me in the gym. None of that. I don't want to socialize with any of you people. Cretins. Fucking cretins. Barbarians. You think I'm going to be like, okay, then you're going to try to kill me off in one way or another. Una manera o otra. What? What? No! Oh, I don't care. That would actually be pleasant. A pleasantry. Something to offer to my children so that they understood. Like, oh, well, this is my sacrifice. I gave up life for your life.
Now, if it wasn't for terms of service, I would have like a video on how do you want to sacrifice Leticia. Now, once again, that would be against terms of service, but funny. So, I can't do it. But I think I would go with Star Wars trash compactor, as my way of, giving Leticia her grand wish.
That's what happens. That's how karma works. That's how karma works. That's how the cycle of life works. You offer a bit and piece of your energy and your life force to whatever, to further. Why should I care? The circle of life. It's so funny. Like I should care. Huh. Well.
Yeah, yes, she did.
So anyway, fuck you people. Probably gonna still make my videos. I don't give a shit. You people are insane. I really don't give a fuck. I don't know what you're talking about incriminating this. You don't owe me this. You blah 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 this. You know damn well what the fuck you've done wrong. You know damn well that I tried to file for those rapes and all that shit, and you still...
Okay. I'm ready to take my punishment, Leticia. Okay, there we go.
are in denial.
I got a stern slap on the wrist.
You're in denial about giving me those excessive shots. You're in denial about the cruel and unusual punishment that you've inflicted upon me and the other people around me.
Oh yeah, Bobby Joe, I was there.
Yeah, no, I know. Believe me, I know. That's the sick and sad part, because you make up your bullshit and you make it out so you make it so vivid for everyone, like it's obvious, oh no, clearly. And no, it's not. It's not clear as day. Just like when my dog was decapitated. Made it look like the pitbull had done it. They lived together for 9 years.
Now, about the dog, I have tried to, I have said this before on one of my later night streams. Now, when a dog is a scavenging type animal, and once again, if I die here, my cats, most of them will eat me eventually. Now, what happened is the dog died, and then the other dogs saw it as scavenge. Animals usually start eating at the head. So, the other dog, now see, a dog will not scavenge unless the dog is hungry. So, she had a dog die. Now, why the dog died, I cannot speculate. Now, once again, someone might say neglect, but what was supposed to be an adult dog died. Now, a dog can just die of a heart attack just like a person can. So, I'm trying to keep this framed in perspective. We don't know what happened to the dog, but we do know that an adult dog in its prime died, and the other dog was hungry enough to scavenge it. Now, the fact of this leads me to believe that dog is like my cats. If a cat dies, the cats are not eating another cat. Now, if there is nothing to eat in the universe, an animal might cannibalize one of their own. And since that dog felt hungry enough to, that, in my opinion, shows a level of neglect. Now, that also then I have to project that upon the departed animal and ask, what level of neglect did that animal have to cause its death, to where then it was scavenged, and then we gain this Leticia story. To kind of frame that, because, we hear this again and again, and I am just framing you the reality of what happened.
It didn't look like the pit bull had done it. They lived together for 9 years. The pit bull was 11 years old, and the poodle was 12 years old.
Okay, then crazy. Okay, then the poodle probably died of natural causes. Now, once again, was there a neglect issue? Because the other dog felt the need to scavenge. Well, obviously, it wasn't fed enough.
The poodle was blind and had one tooth. It's very, very doubtful that my pit bull would have gone to the extreme of eating the head of a poodle.
I get naked for that cheaper. Just saying.
Head, right? This about that big around. And the pit bull's head was about that yay big around. I'm pretty sure she didn't go and just eat it up. Chomp, chomp, eat it up.
Well, Quirky, it's possible.
I didn't see her poop all weird. I didn't see anything all weird in her poop. Oh, guess what? You snatched me up and put me in the fucking psych ward, but it didn't matter, because when I checked the fucking yard, there was nothing weird. No skeletal remains. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. In fecal matter. Digested. Yeah.
Okay. I moved here in 96. I lived here several months. It was 97. It was a spring night. There was a full moon out. I lived in my blue trailer, and a giant coyote and dog battle happened outside on the adjoining property. Now, it was, the vampire-like fog. It was completely that. Full moonlight. And me sitting there with a hunting rifle with a scope. And I popped 3 or 4 of those coyotes with straight hits. Now I know they were knocked dead. Now, the coyotes scavenged their own. There was absolutely no trace of the dead animals. And they even licked the blood off of the grass. You could see where, their battle had been. You can see the disturbed. But like I said, every single one of the dead animals was eaten to zero trace. So, once again, I wanted to frame that, as she goes on with her evidentiary claims. Now, I was astounded to the level that the coyotes did clean up after themselves. I did not expect that.
Digested? Yeah. Didn't see that. Interesting.
Correct him.
I think
and she was making money breeding the dog and selling it. She was a puppy mill.
You guys are stupid. I don't know what the fuck.
And she had stole someone's male dog to be her stud.
And then I'm just a pothead. I don't know any better. I don't see anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't fucking... That was weird.
Well, you see, she had a harem of female poodles, and she was breeding them. And that was how she got her money. She was a puppy mill for poodles. And then she was selling them. And of course, not claiming the money. Because in past videos, she has said, talked about taking the dogs. You took away my income.
Keep my mouth shut generally. Like, that was weird. That was a weird coincidence. What was the problem? You could have left me alone. You could have left well enough alone. You could have filed that properly, and I'd have been satiated. I would have been satisfied. Put the fucking guy in prison. I'd never want to see him again. Didn't want to fucking talk to that bitch again. You don't want shit to do with your child? You didn't want shit to do with him when you found out about him? Because I told you some crazy shit that was the fucking truth? Well, that sucks for you.
Oh, no, she didn't. You know, Leticia is... Unless the vet comes to her house with the shots, and that's what I was saying about the dog. Now, I hope she's telling the truth about the age, because once again, that leads me to most likely to believe natural causes with possible extenuating circumstances.
You're gonna have some karma. 21 years, all this bullshit. Man, I'd have fucking... If I were you, I'd have backed down. I would have backed down to a bitch. I'd have backed down to a fucking whore. So, I don't know. don't know. If I were you, I would have been able to see. But I guess you can't see. I guess you're blind.
Bob!
That's the sad part. Is that I didn't want shit bad to happen to anybody. That's why I was trying so bad. Like, listen, please, listen. Like, I feel like I'm that kind of annoying ass bitch harping in people's ears, trying to get them to do the good thing, and no one listens. Please don't interact with me in a negative way. Bad shit happens. There are terrible repercussions, and even for me, because then they think that I'm trying to act out. Stop it. Well, send me on my way, and I'll do whatever I need to. I'm getting old, but I can still manipulate them well, right? God. See, I know all this stuff, but is it always aware, like fully? Like, no. There's parts of my brain that interact. Like, you've stolen fragments of my memory. You've stolen fragments of my brain. What the fuck?
Now, remember how we said, you know, if she doesn't like it, she will dissociate from it, and she'll just bury it. Now, this is another sign of that.
What the fuck? I can't even process this stuff. I seriously, I didn't even realize I was so smart. And then you guys have fried so much of it. What? Can I have my baby now? I'm not a danger to him if I've got a safe place to just coddle him and take care of him and stare at him and draw him. Because he's going to be so cute. He is so cute. Why did you steal him? Why would you do this? 21 years? Pain and suffering. You people are delusional. I'm tripping. I'm trying to be so calm and so good. Everybody's like, you're such a good girl. I know I'm a good girl. I just detach and I just go into that mindset of I've got to be pleasant. I know they've got to do what they've got to do. I'm scared. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Now, she says, I know they got to do what they got to do. So I think that kind of debunks all of her Illuminati claims, and she's admitting that in a backdoor way, the law is right. Now, this is how I say she works herself into a delusion, and once she was diagnosed with it, that as having delusions, she basically trolls with that, making up delusions.
I tried to tell you for years, quit violating me. No one listens.
Hello, Smelly.
Because they can't understand babies.
Well, when she makes too much on YouTube, or they put her in jail.
You can't understand me. You can't understand me. And I didn't realize how fucking weird my voice was until I saw it and heard myself and looked at myself on video. And there are times where I act like a child. No wonder you don't take me seriously. No wonder I'm trapped inside of a weird body. Look at me. Look at me. I'm trying to reach out. No one listens. And I scream and yell. No one listens.
Well, the thing is she would have kept all of her court dates. She would have just got probation, and she never would have saw a moment in jail.
Why do you hate me so much?
Good morning, Patricia.
What did I do to you? I just came here for love, to offer love. What is wrong with you? My name translates to joy, but like a honeymoon kind of joy. That's horrifying.
I'm anhedonic, Leticia.
Type of joy that you get when you're first aroused by something.
I don't experience you.
That makes it fucking weird. God.
Hello, Toodles.
God. Kill me now. So why is my life so strange? Can we stop this now? Just cut. Cut. I can't do this anymore. Cut. This is insane.
Madness.
Straight up, I know. Cut me. Cut. I can't do this. Can't do this. Greatest actress alive over here, right? What? What? So anyway, I've really enjoyed this. I don't give a shit if you can't hear me properly. They hear me properly. They hear me just fine. So, fucking goddamn. This life is insane.
You've hit it, Christina. Now, when she starts, hooking up with guys again, that's when we all start saying horrifying with the W.
What next? What more harm are you gonna do? Because my tits hurt. Like, do you not realize you should be fucking
I mean, my balls feel, a bit of tension in myself, Leticia, if we want to start, talking about genitals.
chopping their dicks off? You stole a member of my family. I should be able to steal members of theirs. Which I want their dicks. I want their dicks on a fucking chopping block. That one movie we had the.
I bet she don't want them on a chopping block. Just saying.
I can't. I watch too much media. Yeah, I'm too exposed to this toxic shit. It's hilarious, though. Oh my god, and it's so true. Men are so perverse. And you hear the words of the Bible, and you understand through the words and the actions of your own father. You understand?
Yes, Toodles. What? Yes.
No. Men are so
But this kid lets her play the victim.
And they think, the fact that...
Now, you see, remember, Dr. Carol, rather than give her psychology, gave her Jesus. And we are looking at the fruit of his loom.
They can just create and discard when they want to. Whoa.
You okay,
I
Schmilly?
had no idea the world was this toxic and unbalanced. I thought within men and women that they would understand to have that masculine and feminine balance within themselves before you meet your partner and have the same concept of helping one another. That is not helping, bro. Not at all. What help is this when we go through the fucking pain and psychological fucking issues, and the children do too? And then you blame it on us like we're disappointments. I'm sorry, what? I disappointed you. How? Oh, because you didn't shelter me properly? I would be ashamed of you too for sticking your penis inside of me. I'd be ashamed of myself for touching me. I'm disgusting. Just some slut worth less than $50. Who gives a shit about her fucking integrity or her self-respect or her respectability? No? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. If she was a victim in any way, I would be pointing it out. Toodles, you've been here long enough to know that sometimes, rarely, I've cleared the locale and people grumble, but, in 6 months later, everyone's not grumbling about it no more.
What? She's a whore. There's no redeeming whore. Come here, little cat. Perverts. There's no redeeming these sexual,
you horrible
sexual, what's the word? Miscreants. So.
Miscreant? No bone to miscreant?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like, what the fuck is going on in my reality that people don't see? And then I'm like, that's alright, fuck it. They'll do what they do. They do what the fuck they want to do. And if they want to tamper with the fucking, if that's what they want, that's what they want. Exactly what they want. And that's okay. They do what they want. Men do what they fucking want to.
That it is.
As women,
this is our last hot day here.
That bullshit, guzzle it. That's the fucked up part. I had no idea. I was so pissed off at that motherfucker, his DNA inside of me. Yeah, and it was doing shit to my body. Fuck no. No wonder I was so goddamn pissed at him. Pinpointed him, and I was like, no, you've got to be the fucking one. You're the piece of shit. I'm pretty sure it was you. I don't mean to call people pieces of shit, because, I mean, they just are what they are, right? They just are what they are. He didn't want a relationship with me. He was never going to have a relationship with me. And that was his choice. That was my choice. We didn't get along well. No. And sometimes you just gotta fight to the death. Fight to the fucking death.
She's Spartacus, honey. She's Spartacus.
Should have stabbed him in the fucking throat.
See, I told you she's Spartacus.
Next time I'm gonna start carrying some fucking shit on me so that I can rest peacefully. And then that way, if I ever get in trouble, There'll be proof because I'll make sure that my camera's rolling too.
Oh, she's gonna have a weapon and a camera rolling. Shit, I'm gonna get popcorn for her dates.
Always make sure that there's a camera rolling.
We got a movie.
You can notify, hey, this was self-defense. Guess what? I said no. So yeah.
Oh yeah, unless someone stops her.
I said no in my mind. I was like, this cannot be happening. Don't touch me. I'm asleep. Don't touch my hands. Don't touch shit about me. The fuck are you doing? Wow. Sick.
But you see, I hashtag her real name when I make Leticia videos. And I do that so any man that just punches her name into YouTube will pop up my channel and then he will get to preview Leticia.
I thought that at some point somebody would cater to me and understand I still need some time to heal.
Unless she's committed.
You didn't understand that. So I guess you're just cursed. I guess you're just cursed, and so are your children. And so are your children's children. And
now, if her mother was her guardian, she could probably get her fixed.
so on. For eternity. For eternity. But more than likely, apparently that's so. People with compassion. That's what I like. People that are nice and genuinely nice and know that they're just trying to do the right thing. That's what I enjoy. Because they still mess up regardless. Because they're just trying to do what's...
Okay, this cat looks nice. She loves me more than God, than a human could love God. She is a total fucking asshole to the other animals. She takes after her mother, who is also a total asshole to the other animals. Now, the other ones do not do this. Now, this one and Summer has decided that the other cats need to be driven from the home and only they should be inside. So when the other cats try to come in, they try to attack them physically. And this is a current issue I have in my home, is that this one in Summer have decided that the home is theirs and no other cats should be allowed in. So once again, you always see the sweet lovey kitty. But yes, and she's a sweet lovey kitty to me. But in reality, she is an asshole. Aren't you, honey? You're my little asshole. And I say that when it's just me and you sometimes when you're attacking the other animals and I don't want you to.
They're just trying to do what's best, but they just sometimes don't have the right chemistry with someone else and their mindset, where it's going. I don't like being abused. I don't like being touched. I don't like being fondled. I enjoy offering my love at a certain extent and a certain degree. I like touch. I'm not gonna lie, I enjoy touch.
Well, I'm on Boyd Wrestling. Yes.
When you sit there and lock me away.
Yes, on the channel Coachisms, I'm a Boyd wrestler. So in reality, I think I'm in a little bit bigger league.
I have to touch myself, and then what? Your cameras and all that shit, and you guys are gonna be like, God damn it, there she goes touching herself again.
Like,
well,
now see, this is my problem. Why I need to type sometimes, and
who cares?
my kitty has no bones.
I love the best of both worlds. Fuck it. Why should I care? You guys treat me like an animal, that's how I'm gonna act. That's how people respond when they're mistreated. You treat me like a fucking animal, I'll show you an animal. I'll show you. We'll see what the fuck goes on. Perverts. Fucking perverts. Perverts. So, you guys just want to stick me away just so that you can, like, hide your secrets for longer. Oh my god, we're going to take this child, we're going to raise him away from the mom and 21 years and blah, 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 and all this bullshit. What am I to you? What am I in your
Richella
fucking
asked me to name her Richella.
What is that? Discard?
She said, name one Richella.
Waste. Fucking just That's what I am? Nice. Nice. Fuck you. So, I hope this is a test for you, and you understand too. Oh my
I love you.
What happened to the little squirrel it's carrying? I'm fucking horribly traumatized right now.
Traumatized.
I don't think that was doing well.
Traumatized.
Large baby. I think it had fallen. What was that? That didn't look good. Cash app.
Yeah,
Cash app.
now.
No one cares.
Now, you remember how earlier that, certain things you put out of your mind and you dissociate from? I had done that with the poodle. Now, once again, M has mentioned this, and M is correct because we have an admission of Leticia encouraging her poodles to lick in specific areas, and that's as much as I'm going to go into that. Now, see, like I said, I put that out of my mind. Why? Because my mind wanted a safe place where that didn't exist. And Leticia does this naturally. I did this because I don't even want to go there, and I don't want to go there so bad my mind is willing to put it in a little tiny compartment, shut the door, and not open it. But of course, if that door is open, I have to respond, and now it's time for me to shut that door and try to forget it exists. You're right, little kitty. You're not helping me.
Cash app. No one cares.
Not yet taking care of business. Not yet.
Donations through this. I was seeking to expose
I just know it will be done.
My story, so that hopefully one day somebody would correct it. And it's not even that I wanted compensation. What I wanted was a family. What I truly wanted was love. A family. Somebody to understand.
My
Why
baby.
am I crazy? Why am I labeled as crazy when all I wanted was love?
Love.
Why? Why? So,
you could have got platonic love. You could have got the love for humanity. You could have got and not frozen a pet. But for some reason, I'm betting they might not like you to have a pet, just saying. Because we wouldn't either. Like I say, there are many kind of loves. You could get a love for the arts. You could get a love for orange chicken, Amberlyn Reed did.
You're crazy.
But why does it have to be a baby? Oh yeah, a baby comes with support mechanisms.
Pray for you.
Because she's going to die
Pray
before
for
she
your
gets a
dinner.
job.
And that baby squirrel. What the fuck did I just see?
Take care, Lady Genji. Oh yeah, I've been a hair long. Actually, I need to be doing stuff,
but it was
really.
nearly as large as she was.
It's
So
11
was it
o'clock.
dead? Was she gonna eat it? She probably wasn't. Oh, I'm sick and tired of this. Men are perverts. I'm done. Men are perverts. I just don't understand it. What next? What now? What am I supposed to do with myself? What am I supposed to do with my life? The child meant something to me. And my body is destroyed. My body is destroyed.
Welcome to middle age, Leticia.
I am traumatized beyond reason and beyond reasonable doubt. There's no way I'd ever get a job.
You know, middle age, you lose the 3-hour erection.
No way going to ever happen. So, never. I would rather die. I will exchange my time voluntarily, but I don't really like money. I don't like the concept of money. So,
what does she want all the time?
My time and my efforts and my
Money.
companionship for plenty of other things. I'm entertain people constantly. I amuse them. And
well, she had said before that she wanted a man to bug. And that's what she was good. Her version of relationship is. If she actually got a man, that's all she would do is badger him and try to make him into the servant. And of course, everything she says would have to go, including dietary.
See, the problem with that, I don't mind being a fool and just wandering about as a jester and just expecting nothing.
Well, that will help get religious people on their side. Now, for those that watch the Ernie and Jimbo stuff, that's what Ernie and Jimbo does. You know, I'm not a pretentious person. I am not going to wrap God anywhere in any of my causes, ever. You know, I think that would be pretentious as hell and wrong. Very wrong. But you see these manipulative people, they like to use God because they're trying to get something out of you. They want mercy. They want power over you using God and your emotions. And that's why things like politics, God should be left out of politics. And God should be left out of social services. And I just, it would be better for everyone if Leticia didn't know about gods, or maybe got her to pick another one, because evidently the one that she has really isn't working for her.
Just expecting nothing. Why? Why expect anything? Because you know damn well that you're going to get abused anyway. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter. No one cares. Nobody's cared about you, and no one cared about your attachment with your child, and that's why they ripped him away from you. They didn't want you to be attached to him. They didn't want you to have any sort of attachment in this world. No materialistic things. A child would do just that. It would bring me down to this world and give me the comfort that I have always deserved and needed. And that's not not always possible.
The child to give her the comfort she needs. That is, and I'm going to end after this little bit of commentary, everyone. The child was to bring her the comfort she needs. Now, most of you are ladies, according to my demographics, around 80%. And most of you have had children because of the age demographic group. Can you, now you may get comforted in the middle, but it is a damn hard job. And Leticia is doing this because the baby is supposed to comfort her. I mean, talk about having your polarity 180 from what it should be. Oh no, Ernie's never quitting anything. Ernie's just got court next week. Well, WB, we're just getting ready to get out of here because I've been on here hours and I have a day that I have to take care of. But this will be posted. Oh yeah, but yes, the baby was supposedly to comfort her. So I know in my heart, no doubt, that the baby is saved because she's not with her. Because if the baby was to comfort her, and we saw in this exchange on how she wanted the baby's nothing, how she wanted, and going back and forth in minutes, that baby's life was saved. And we can give a large credit to Nicolina because the baby was gotten away quickly and early because of her intervention. So, you know, once again, we have to give her praise because she did save the baby from being in her care longer. And once again, you know, when they came to get the baby, she could have hurt the baby. And I'm going to leave you with that thought because I want to reinforce there was a win. And right now, we are just hearing the crying locker room on the losing side. Now, everyone, thank you for coming. And I will stream her now and again because, once again, people really need a place to discuss this. And have a very good day.